track. So it looks like the track's getting close, and I'm excited about this year. I think these cars will be good, and Daytona went fairly well. We were able to get out of there kind of unscathed, so things happen for a reason, I guess, and hopefully it'll be the same here.
All right, Martin Truex Jr. has also joined us here as we continue to wait for this track to drive. But Martin, if you could also just comment on the new car and kind of what you're looking forward to in 2013.
Yeah, sure. Glad to be here today. Looking forward to getting on the racetrack soon. Hopefully, it's a bit chilly outside, but it should be a good chance for us to get in the new car on a mile and a half and see what it's all about. We've got quite a bit to learn. I really wish we could have got more time in, but that's the way it goes. So we're kind of chomping at the bit to get out there and looking forward to this season. Obviously, that's what we did last year, and the whole team stayed together, and we're definitely excited about what we think we'll be able to accomplish this year with our NAPA Toyotas, and just ready to get things going. So again, we've got a lot to learn today. Hopefully we'll get on the track soon and have a good test.
All right, we'll open up for a question. If you have a question for Martin or Greg, just raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. Start with Mike up here.
Mike Hembry, Speed.com. Greg, I know some of this is going to be kind of a work in progress, but what's your outlook on how the Roush-Penske situation is going to work this year as far as back and forth?
I don't think it's going to change a tremendous amount for us. More so probably for maybe the engine shop will get another opportunity to have more engines on the racetrack and maybe collect more data or whatnot. But I think it'll be similar to, like Stuart Haas maybe, and the Ganassi group. They're both GM, but they don't really necessarily, they're competing against each other. So I don't see a tremendous amount of stuff crossing back and forth, but maybe some trends of types of things that we're working on or we found or whatever will help. But I don't think it's going to be like, we're going to be sharing, full notes or anything like that. I mean, I'm not against that. That's just typically how organizations work,
Alan and Reed and David.
I have a question for each of you guys, but Greg, you talked about crew chief worry. How worrisome or how valuable is this lost time given that the car's new and things can be learned? How worrisome is you're losing this testing time?
It's a lot, because this is the first opportunity we've really had to get the car on the racetrack in the configuration we're actually going to race it. We've tested it a few times as a composite body and not all the latest rules, but this is really it for us. So we needed this 2 days to really figure out what the car's gonna end up like. So hopefully we can test into the evening and not get too cold too fast, because I'd rather stay as long as we can and get as much information as we can versus having to pack this whole show up and try and go somewhere else again or come back later.
And Martin, as the driver, what is still to be learned, or what do you hope to learn in a test like this in the new car?
Well, there's a lot of questions to be answered, like kind of Greg alluded to it a little bit. What is this car like? What is it going to feel like? What kind of balance is it going to take to make speed? What kind of shift in the balance as the fuel burns off? Just things like that. The suspension package and some of the rules that we have this year, especially the rear suspension, are a lot different than what we're used to. And this chassis is very similar to what we had last year. With the aerodynamic package, the aero balance of the car, everything is completely different. And so just trying to get out there and learn and make laps and make changes. It's going to take some time to figure out those things, and we're hoping to get quite a list of things done yesterday and today, and obviously they'll be shortened quite a bit. So it's just going to take some time to figure out what the car wants and what we're looking for.
Reed?
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. For both Martin and Greg, my question is similar to Alan's, but do you think that even if you run late today, that'll give you enough time without scheduling another test somewhere at another downforce track before you get to Vegas?
I'd say no. I mean, everybody's trying to, this is the deal where we all roll out the new cars at the same time, and everybody's trying to get a jump on the rest of the guys. So we're going to, try to get as much time with track as we can get. If we think we need to learn more, if we got unanswered questions, we'll be somewhere testing next week.
Yeah, I agree, and I think a lot of it boils down to how well your car drove, and then how your speed compares, and how much stuff we get through. If the car's driving pretty good, the car's got fairly good speed, it looks like there's no major, we got to get this figured out still, I think that there's a possibility we wouldn't test again. But if there's still unanswered questions, or we don't have the speed or the drivability, I get out there and I'm like, I just can't drive it, it's too loose, it won't turn, fuel burns off, and we need to continue to test. We're going to end up somewhere else.
David.
David Carvell, NASCAR.com. Greg, the roof flaps on these new cars look so much bigger than they used to be. I'm trying to remember when you had your near spin at Daytona last week, you saved it, but did yours deploy, and can you really feel it when that thing goes up now?
Well, I couldn't see them, thank goodness. I don't know if they deployed or not. I have to look back at the video, but I don't believe they did. And normally you can't feel them, whether they deploy or not. A lot of times, sometimes you can hear them because they make a hell of a racket when they open all the way up and they slam against the cables. But I don't know if they did, but it was definitely a close one.
Go to Bob.
Bob Pockris, Sport News. I don't think either of you guys are here in December, so have you guys been in this car at all on an intermediate track, downforce track, anywhere?
I haven't been.
I've been in the car twice, tire test in Texas at the end of the season, and then I don't remember where else. I think here for something. I don't know if it was another tire test or what, but I've been in this car twice, and but there again, that was a composite body car, so truly no experience with this car. Set up with all the rules package and the steel body and meeting the templates and everything. But I don't think it's going to be 100% different, but still it's going to be different.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. We all heard the Hendrick guys come in last week during Speed Weeks and say we're Hendrick Motorsports, so we expect to, get a jump on the competition with the new car. Tell me why you guys would disagree with that, and why would your organization be the ones that may have a reason to step out and get the information early and persevere?
Well, that's a tough question to answer. I mean, we don't know what their plans are, obviously. So, all we can do is focus on, again, the things that we have set up to start doing. We've been doing a lot of testing in the off season on parts and pieces. There's some things, again, that are different about this car that we have a lot of questions about. Maybe those are the things they have figured out. I don't know. I can tell you that the commitment from our team, from what we did last year, how we got to where we were last year, that's continued, and I feel like this year will be even better. So I speak for anybody else, but I think the direction that we're heading and the things that we've done as a team will continue to try to elevate our team to where it's contender each week and hopefully championship contender at the end of the season.
Yeah, there again, I don't know what they've been working on. I know GM waited a long time on releasing their car to unveil it. And so, I don't know if they had something figured out, didn't want people seeing it till late in the game and couldn't change it, or they're continuing to work on it and develop it. I really don't know what the strategy of that was, but to be the last one to unveil a car and wait that late and be ahead of everybody, they've obviously got something figured out.
I'm sorry, this is for both of you. Stan Creekmore with RPMtonight.com. One thing I haven't heard from anybody is the reduction in weight to these cars this year. I believe it's 150 pounds or 160. Do you see any major positives to the reduction of the weight, and does it change the car at all for you?
Well, I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. It should be a positive from the tire perspective. Building a tire that we can go fast and wear out without worrying about blowing it out. One of the things that we've struggled with, or Goodyear has struggled with, is at tracks like Charlotte where the tire doesn't wear out. It's super fast. It's keeping the heat out of them. you know, the drivers all want a tire that wears out, so the car will start to slide around, gets hard to drive, puts on a better show, is a lot more fun to race. With the weight in the right side of the car, it's been difficult for them to be able to do that. And hopefully that'll help them just to be able to build a tire that we can have more fun and put on better races with.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, the more weight we get out of them, and truly the more left side weight we can get in these cars, which is a difficulty. You know, when you add left side weight to a car that has a higher center of gravity and all that, it makes the car handle much better. It makes the left sides do more work. And when we started with the COT car, you know, the left side tire did such a small percentage of the work, and the right sides had to do everything. And so the more we can migrate back to getting all 4 tires to do more work, and not just along for the ride, then it will be easier on the tire. The tire can be more aggressive, and you know, that'll help it. So continue to take weight out of it and get, you know, the weight. The more we can move it to the left side.
Thank you.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires. You guys were talking about testing a while ago, going from where we tested very little to none, and now going into this year where you can test as much as you need to. What is that going to look like for your schedule? Do you know how many times you're going to be on the road doing that throughout the year? Where, I mean, that's looking forward right now with this new car?
Yeah, I think that we can only, I don't know that it's unlimited testing, I haven't heard that yet, but I think it's 4, we're allowed 4 tests this season, so. Yeah, I mean, I think with a new car in NASCAR, it's in NASCAR's best interest to let us get to the racetracks we're going to race at and do some testing, and it's equal for everyone that they did it per organization. So I like the idea of it, you know. I think, you know, 2 to 4 tests per year is not a bad number, so a team can go someplace they really want to work on stuff, and instead of having to go to Nashville every week or other places that don't really count. So I like it. If the number stays down, it'll allow us to go and do some good testing.
Yeah, I think the biggest change, like Greg said, is just that, you know, the testing that we'll be able to do now will be very beneficial, just because we'll be able to go to racetracks that we're going to race on, and you know, hopefully use tires that you know, will be like we're going to race on. And so you know, normally you go to Disney or you go to Nashville or places like that, and it's sometimes hard to decipher what was good information, what was bad information. Sometimes you take things you learn at those places to the racetrack and it just doesn't work, you know. And so it'll be good to get some good testing in. You know, as far as the schedule goes, you know, we're always busy no matter what. If there's free time on our schedule, somebody will find us something to do. So we might as well be doing some testing that's going to be beneficial for our race cars and our race team.
Any other questions for Martin or Greg? All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.